Imagine if you had been, climbing at your corporate job for like 10 years, you're getting promotions, you're getting raises, and all this success. But then one day you come to realize that you're still miserable and you're not closer to freedom or the freedom level that you desire. So, is the corporate ladder a lie? And after working in the corporate world for over a decade, and I still am, I can tell you right now that it is probably one of the biggest lies of the workplace today. And it's something that people fall for. And I think uh, we get into this cycle of repeated insanity. And that's something I wanted to talk about further and just kind of go over this corporate ladder and whether it's still a thing. I've been working in the corporate world for over a decade now. I mean, early on when I got my first job, it was a little bit exciting because I was going to finally make some good income and so forth. And uh, if we go back to almost 10 years ago, when I started out as a contractor on a temporary assignment with the employer I'm at, uh, I can just remember a couple months later when I got converted into a direct hire position. It was definitely exciting, and getting a little pay raise and benefits and all that. So it was nice and all that, and you kind of feel like you're in that honeymoon stage. But I'll tell you, just fast forward to years later. Sometimes it just gets old, and you get used to it, and you get to chase promotions and this idea of climbing the ladder and so forth. And what I've realized is that even though you may get changes in locations or changes in your pay or even a change in your title, nothing really changes. And if you think otherwise, I want you to think about it this way. If you've been working a corporate job at maybe a good employer for a couple years now and you've got promotions and you've moved up, let me ask you this. Has the quality of your life improved? Are you much healthier physically and mentally? And do you have more time available? Now, if your answer is no to those questions, then I challenge you to think otherwise because what I find is that when a lot of people who move up the corporate ladder, they get pay raises and so forth. You know, the further you move up, especially into a management role, you're going to have more responsibilities. It's going to take more time away from doing things that you want to do and so forth. And you get to this point where it's like, is it really that much better and so forth? Or have you really had a better quality of life? Do you have more time to spend doing things that you want to do? Or do you have like this so called work life balance? And, I'll tell you, regardless if you're 28 years old or you're 42 or you're close to 50 now, you're at middle age, you know, and you're still grinding corporates, you know, I've been in that spot for over a decade, and although I've moved up one or two times, I don't know if I have a desire to move up more because not only are you going to have more responsibilities and more stress, it's going to take more time away from doing things that matter or even doing things that you want to do, personal development, or just simply spend more time with your family. And I think that's something that a lot of people will regret later on. And sure, they may have gotten the nice title and the position and the money, but it still is, in a way, taking their precious time away. And I've talked before about how, time can be your most important resource and so forth. And I've come to the point where I value my time more than money. So, but really, there are a couple points I can go over this why this corporate ladder myth is such so mind-boggling. And I think the biggest takeaway that I will let you in on this is that the majority of us, especially if you're a young man, you were sold this work hard, climb the ladder, and retire happy script. But watching it over the years, it doesn't really make sense now these days. With more companies laying off their employees, whether that's to save money or they're switching to automation and artificial intelligence or AI, it's making this uh, corporate ladder thing kind of more a little obsolete, or it's going to become less relevant going forward. And I think that, if you think about it, more than 55% of men under the age of 45 are now saying that they're stuck despite being promoted or climbing up the corporate ladder. And they're more burnt out, and they're more stressed, and they're losing more of their valuable time. So I will say that here's the thing: corporate ladders, as much as they might be enticing to some people and people want to move up in a company, they are more than a trap rather than a ticket to freedom. And my my situation going through the corporate life over the last decade has been not the best one. And at this point, I really have no desire to move up. I mean, it's possible I can move up one more position, but that's it. I'd rather not take more responsibilities and take on more of the stress and the time away. And, I would say that if you really want to climb the ladder, don't climb the corporate ladder at your company. I'd say the other part is to own your ladder. Don't climb it, own it. The real ladder is the one that you build yourself through the skills that you develop and you build, and also through, other things, whether that's starting a business or even for myself, trading. I think that uh, if you start small side systems, whether that's creating content or doing a little side business or even trading, that can compound much faster than any raise would imagine. I mean, yeah, you're going to have to put a little bit more time and effort into it, but wouldn't you want to do a little like side hustle or a little business where you can make a little bit more money on the side? But think about it this way: if you keep going at it for the next 3, 4, or 5 years, then you can get to a point where that income source can be making you much more money than at your current job right now. So, you know, the corporate ladder for many may be like an exciting thing to get out of a current position or to take on more challenges. But the real escape is the one that you control. You don't have to keep climbing this broken ladder, as I like to call it these days. Uh, and really, just in a way, just to stop climbing and to start building your own ladder. So, and if this is something that interests you and you want to learn more of, then I encourage you to check out my latest ebook called Three Paths, Three Prisons. Is it freedom or indentured servitude? And really, I think it's more of the opposite of freedom, and I'll leave it like that. But if you're interested, be sure to check out the link in the video description below to get your free copy and to get on my email list. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.